Spacehawk and the creeping death from Neptune. With the coming of interplanetary travel, the legions of the law find it impossible to cope with the pirates, killers and other criminals lurking in space. Then, apparently, out of nowhere comes the superhuman enemy of crime, the mysterious Spacehawk. Thereafter, bandits of the void begin to disappear, for they soon learn to fear the amazing powers of the Spacehawk, who always strikes without warning. For example, here is the case of Gorbak, notorious Martian space pirate who boasts he is too clever to be caught by the Spacehawk. Fly straight to the Grex Mountains of Neptune. The Grex Mountains? Then you mean you're going to capture more of the creeping death? Master Gorbak, we shouldn't go there again. It's unsafe, it's... Silence, you white-livered dolt. I'm paying you well to pilot my ship, not to advise me. From his hideout on Neptune's cold and airless moon, Gorbak speeds out on a horrible mission and settles on a ledge at the entrance to a cave. You men, get the trap ready to send out. I'll get the bait. Gorbak goes to the ship's prison compartment and unlocks one of the doors. All right, you, come on out. When I give orders, I expect action. Now step lively. Here's our bait. Put her in the trap and make sure she can't get out of it. The girl is clamped in a large metal cylinder. The apparatus is extended from the ship toward the mouth of the cave. Keep your eyes open. The second it gets into the trap, release the shutter and haul it in. Minutes drag by, then one of the Martians gives a shout. There it comes! From the black depths of the cave, a shapeless white mass crawls into view. It slithers to the trap and slowly climbs the metal cylinder. Terror-stricken, the Earth Girl sees that it is about to seize her. Suddenly a bolt of fire hisses down upon the creeping thing. Writhing in torture, it crawls swiftly back into the cave. Cheated of his intended prey, Gorbak flees into a rage. Flies into the rage? Anyhow. Open the door! I'm going out and kill whoever fired that bolt of flame. As Gorbak reaches the ship outer door, a figure comes into view from above the cave's entrance. The Martian looks up and halts in his tracks. The Spacehawk! All right, Gorbak, come and get me if you have the nerve. Quick, cut the trap loose and let's get out of here. With a roar of blast propellers, the pirate ship leaps into the air. Full speed to the other side of Neptune. I told you we'd run into trouble. We'll never escape from the Spacehawk. Who says we're trying to escape? I, Gorbak, never flee from my enemies. I outwit them, and that's what I'm doing now. Meanwhile, the Spacehawk frees the girl from the trap. You? You're the Spacehawk? And just in time, miss. If that protoplasmic creature from the cave had reached you, it would have devoured you. This old-fashioned flame gun is the only kind of weapon that monstrosity respects. Now let's get away from here. The Spacehawk, lifted by the controllable anti-gravity element in his attire, carries the girl out of the abyss. Here's my ship. I'll take you to the nearest spaceship terminal and you can get passage from there. Don't worry about falling captive again to Gorbak. He has captured his last ship. But how can you say that? Gorbak is still at large. The spacehawk lands on one of the vegetable bubbles and prepares to search for Gorbak. He knows that the Martian has intended to hide on that side of the planet, for he has read it in Gorbak's mind. By means of sensitive instruments, he feels the region for certain delicate vibrations from Gorbak's ship. The apparatus shows that the pirate ship is not within thousands of miles, and the spacehawk flies onto the unexplored tunneled country of the north. At the mouth of one of the thousands of tunnels bored by huge extinct ants, he finally catches the vibrations from Gorbak's ship. They can't be much more than a mile away now. I'll have to hunt for them afoot the rest of the way, or they might tune in the approach of my ship. The spacehawk sets out at a swift pace. A short distance away, he is confronted by a Batman. Stand aside or I'll fire. No fire, I know you, spacehawk. I friend. You look for pirate ship, you find him round bend. All time he come, hide here. Kill my people. We help you get him, maybe, huh? Thanks, I don't believe I'll need any help, but if I do, I'll shout. Moving onward, he comes within sight of his goal, and the thought impulses he receives from the pirate ship warn him of a sinister plot taking form within it. Now listen, you sniveling louts. When I, Gorbak, have a plan, I go through with it. Spacehawk or no spacehawk. I say he'll never catch up to us again, so stop your squawking. We'll take the tank of live protoplasm we captured the first trip and pour it into containers with radio locks on them. Then we'll plant the containers in the control rooms of several large space freighters. By means of this key wave projector, we can open the containers at will. When the creeping death gets at the throats of the crews, those ships will be ours without having to risk a series of battles with them. All we'll have to do is run them down, tow them to the nearest hideout, and wait for a few days for the protoplasm to die of starvation. Now get busy and prepare the stuff. Working carefully, lest they allow any of the deadly protoplasm to escape, the pirates start transferring it into the metal containers. Meanwhile, the spacehawk silently burns a hole in the ship's hull by means of a small flame gun. As soon as the metal cools, he squeezes through the opening. There, that should teach you not to meddle in my plans. Just then Gorbak snuffs out the life of his pilot, because he said he did not know where the key wave projector was. Then, no doubt every one of your crew deserves even worse treatment than that. Gorbak, but don't you think you're just a little bit too rough with them? Huh? The spacehawk again? Right, you didn't think you were going to escape from me, did you? Well, what are you going to do? Don't worry about what I'm going to do. Start worrying about what you're going to do. Gorbak's hand stealthily slips toward his atom gun. With the speed of light, the spacehawk whips out his own gun and fires a bolt of energy that meets the Martian's charge in mid-air. Drop that gun. It won't do any good if you can't draw and fire any faster than that. Kalak, Boru, get in here at once. I need help. It's the spacehawk. He's in there with Gorwak. The spacehawk? Quick, we must get out of here before it's too late. From what I can see from this window, Gorwak, it looks like your men have run out on you and they won't be back. Give me a chance. I'll give you a fortune if you'll let me go. If you do away with me now, my cash will never be found, and they'll never do anyone any good. I can read your foul thoughts like a book. I know now where you've been hidden. Man. I know now where you've hidden all your loot, and I'll see that it all gets back into the proper hands. As for giving you a chance, well, I'll break both our atom guns and my flame gun. That will put us on an even footing. Locked in grips of steel, the men struggle with the fury of demons. Finally, Gorwak gets his tentacle-like arms clamped around the spacehawk's throat and desperately hangs on. Ha! See the mighty spacehawk now. Nothing but a bluffing bag of tricks. And just to make certain he doesn't pull another one, I'll make use of this steel rope. If only I had that key wave projector, I'd. Suddenly the pirate remembers that he himself put it in one of the lockers. Now to enjoy a very satisfying spectacle. I suppose I should wait. Though, until he comes to. Then he'll appreciate what that protoplasm can do when it's hungry. Gorwak, unable to restrain himself, sets the projector in action. The cap on one of the containers flies open. A white mass oozes forth. It drops to the floor and spreads out, feeling its way toward the spacehawk. It's a pity you're unconscious, Mr. Spacehawk, because you're missing something very interesting. Gorwak watches from a safe distance. To the Martian's amazement, his captive suddenly gets up and calmly breaks his steel bonds as though they are made of paper. I'm not missing a thing, Gorwak. I've let you have enough fun. Now you are going to die by your own infernal device. The pirate, terror-stricken, tries to dash for safety, but he's snatched and flung back into the room. Ripping a lever from the control panel, the spacehawk jams the metal door, shut with a few powerful blows, sealing Gorwak to a horrible doom with a creeping death. Let me out! Let me out! It's going to get me! In his hysterical efforts to escape the protoplasm, the Martian stumbles directly into it. In a moment, it tightly encircles his neck and crawls hungrily upon his face. The spacehawk hurries back to his ship. By means of a powerful magnetic controller, he drags the pirate craft from the tunnel. Outside of Neptune's atmosphere, he directs the pirate ship towards the sun and releases it. Well, there's another job done. It won't be long before that ship, its containers of protoplasm, and what's left of Gorvak the pirate are all blasted to atoms in the sun's photosphere. Who is the Spacehawk? Don't miss his amazing adventures in the next issue. Or some panellogy. Sometimes. So, thanks for listening and watching. Goodbye.